Jesus Christ, we finally have it. It's Tekken 8! I can't believe it. 9 years after the release of Tekken 7, and we have the next installment. Although, that's probably an unfair way of phrasing it. 7 was constantly updated until about 2021, I think. Just a bit of a heads up, this is going to be a bit of a less edited video than what I would normally release. I kind of just wanted to get my thoughts down and show off some gameplay. I've been a bit more time constrained this week. But my god, we've had a big 12 months of fighting games. Mortal Kombat 1, Grand Blue vs Rising, and Street Fighter 6, just to name a few of them. The latter, which I've already talked about in another video if you want to check it out. But TLDR, I rated it highly, and it seems like all these games have just popped off and it's great to see. But sprinting to the finish line from the rear, Tekken 8 is honestly up there with being the best fighting game in recent history for me. In terms of value for money, it's by far the most content-rich fighter game out there, and there's a reason I think Tekken 8 is just the perfect game for not just fighting enthusiasts, but more casual audiences. Now granted, I've grown up with a bit of Tekken, I started on 4 and have had nearly every mainline title since, but I still consider myself pretty much a casual player. I don't grind ranks on online matches, and my playtime on a fighting game definitely correlates more to the single player content available above anything else. And I think that feeling is shared amongst that casual audience fan base, also known as the wider audience, and it largely contributes to the financial success of a fighting game. Tekken 8 just has the whole package, more so than any other fighting game I've played recently. I think it just reaches out to all of those audiences. Starting with the big win for me, I guess, is the single player story mode. We've got another great chapter in the story this time, told in a far better manner than what was Tekken 7. Visually the game is beautiful, and seeing these awesome cinematic cutscenes transition into these dynamic fights was just always exciting. I do wish the story was a little bit longer, but we get the added bonus of having each individual character have a small story section with an intro and ending cinematic. It makes for a great opportunity to dive into what is essentially a huge starting roster. 32 characters, a lot of great returners, some more interesting ones, and a great addition in both Victor and Reina, but fuck this bitch. And for jumping into the mechanics of the game, there's an even better mode which works well for beginners, and that's called Arcade Quest, a short story using custom-made avatars where you slowly learn the mechanics of your chosen fighter. In fact, this game does so well for helping newcomers get into the game, and it comes with a training mode that Street Fighter 6 could really take notes from. Showing a demonstration of the move you're trying to learn helps so much in training, I cannot stress it enough, because then you actually know what the move looks like and if you've pulled it off correctly. Tekken is naturally a bit of an easier fighting game to pick up, as each character's move list is just so expansive. There's not a skill check for people to pull off a lot of these moves. A lot of the moves flow naturally into each other, so people can just pick up a controller and quickly feel like they can pull off something cool. The next big win, as always, is Tekken's customization. I have shining opinions of Street Fighter 6, but one of my biggest gripes with it, as well as with Mortal Kombat, is the predatory behavior of their DLC and microtransactions. Street Fighter 6 just came with only 2 costumes for each character, and the first sniff of new items that we can put on our avatars and characters, they're coming over at insane prices. The recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover was costing you like, what, £15 for an avatar costume? It was insane. Tekken 8 has each character come with 3 costumes and 1 with a second colouring, and then there's a decent chunk of customizable items to put on each fighter. Granted, that count probably isn't as high as maybe Tekken 7, but it's still a decent bar and towers above all recent competitors. Now, it'll probably be a test of time to see if the DLC prices are alike, and I beg them to be more sensible than their peers, because more people will buy it if they can just actually afford it. All this, and I haven't even talked about the online and additional fun modes like Tekken Ball, which is definitely something to try out. I personally had no trouble with online matches so far, and if you're looking for something maybe a bit more in depth about the online lobbying and how the netcode works, I recommend checking out someone like Maximilian Dude for their review. I wanted to spend more of my time highlighting that if you've ever been curious about trying fighting games out, I think this is the quintessential fighting game to give a shot. It's user-friendly to a T, it's expansive single-player modes for those not looking for online matchups necessarily, just a solid fighting mechanic and foundations. Matchups are just so much fun to even just watch, yet alone play it. So that's my basic thoughts on Tekken 8. Have you already picked it up? Are you not fussed? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell me who you main. You can probably tell I main King. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and all that. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.